How's everybody doing? Good. Okay, so this is your CPT course review chat. But before we start going over that chat, I just want to kind of reiterate, what you guys are doing with Teams. Teams, that's where we do our one-on-one, and that's where you can see your files, and you can also see the documents that I'm sending you as it relates to the courses. All of the courses are in there. You can look at them if you want to, but I want you to still stay on track. Okay, stay on track. If you guys are on a 20-week track, stay on track. If you're on a 40-week track, stay on track. So you you get the email from me with your Sapphire email. Okay, I want you guys to change your password. And then that's how you get into Sapphire Teams. You guys already have your regular teams that you guys get in when we're doing the one-on-one. That's fine. The other one that I'm sending you is specifically for you guys to get into the Sapphire Teams. I do have folders in there, and the other folders do have you guys' name on them. Just open your folder. The other folders, you shouldn't be able to see anybody's folder, but it's just tests. It's nothing, it's no big deal in there. But I just put those there so you guys can also have a different place where your folders are. But basically, I'm uploading the docs that you send me. If you send me a test or if you send me your summary, I can put it in your file in Teams. I can also send it to you. So I don't want you guys to go, to fickle over Teams, because we'll get it right. It takes time. Some people, haven't used Teams before, and it's a little bit of a fickle, but we'll get it. So send me an email, send me a message. You guys let me know if you're having a little pickle with Teams. Okay. There is a Teams video in there to show you how to do Teams, but I'll do another one. I'll send you guys out an invite, and you guys can come in, and we'll do that again. Because some of you weren't there. But you guys have the archive video, but we can do that again so you guys can ask me questions while we're in there. So I am going to do that again. Send me some of your times so I can know when to do it. I'm gonna try to do it after 6 o'clock, but if we can't, I'll do it and then I'll archive it. But I want to do it with you guys on so you guys can ask me questions at that time. Okay, so this is just the CPT review for the beginning of the course. Okay, the slides that I'm going to show you is some of the work that you're going to be doing. You guys know when you read a chapter, I give you tasks, complete the task, and then you do your summary. If you guys can stick to 100 to 200 in the summary, that's good. I just need to know if you're abreast on what you're reading. If you see something in there that you need to put on an index card, put it on the index card, and you can put it in your folder. I usually do something like this, or you guys can do this too. This is just a box, and I have a bunch of index cards in here. And this is what the students study by. The students that to come in physically, this is what they do. This is what we did, when we were in North Carolina. So, but I want you guys to do this at home, because when you get ready to study, just pull out your box, name your box, and you're just studying for cardiovascular. So just study that portion. But as you are reading, I want you to take your time. You guys know, try and spend at least 2.5 hours on work a day if you can. There are goals and targets in there for you to give me your work. So I'd like you to try to stay on that, and then I will get that back to you more than likely on Sunday night. If you don't see it on Sunday night, you're going to see it first thing in the morning. And I'll put it in Teams, and I can also send it to you. Don't forget, if you guys are having a pickle with Teams, let me know. Because that's where we're going to do most of our work in Teams. So this session here, those of you who are not able to get in on it, that's fine. Don't worry about it, because we'll continue to have sessions. There'll be sessions. Don't forget, the coding sessions are on Saturday. Those of you who do not have your book yet, that's fine. Just do the medical terminology. Start with medical terminology. You already have that book. You have the tasks already for medical terminology. Look in that folder. I've given you 50 tasks to do. Okay. I don't know if it's 50, it's probably 25, but you have a competency. It's 50 questions, no, it's 25. So let me know if you don't see those. I'll shoot those out to you. If you don't see those, you also can go in Teams and look in that medical terminology file. When you guys do go in those files, make sure you're not moving anything or deleting anything. You can download from those files if you want to. So I'll just get an email of what was downloaded and who downloaded it. That's all. But it's just, it's just work that you guys are going to be doing. Okay. Let's take a look at see, you guys can't see my Teams is different from yours, so I can't see what yours looks like. If I show you mine, it wouldn't do any justice because I want to see what you're looking at. I know I've seen a few on Dimitri's file where he can see the same stuff that I can see. He just doesn't have, 100% of what I can see, but what I need him to see, he can see. So I got to make sure that you guys are seeing the same thing. There's a folder in there called milestone. Make sure that you just open the milestone. I had another milestone in there. I got rid of it because it might be conflicting with you getting your milestone. So you go through, you're already in Sapphire Physician Coding, then you'll see the general. Click on the general and see if you see the milestones in there. If it's in there, click on that. You guys tell me what you see in there. Okay, but generally you're just doing your work from your ebook, and I want you guys to go ahead and send me the work that you're doing. Send me your test. I need to grade your test. So okay, so let's move on. Let me share my screen with you. I might go into that Teams portion and we'll take a look at that so we can see what's in there. I'll show you what's in there, but I know I went over that on another video, but that's fine. Let's just kind of look at that. And rest assured, those of you who are working during the day, I do one-on-ones with you guys constantly because one-on-one is better for you when you are asking questions. I like the group one-on-ones because you all are asking questions and somebody's going to ask something that somebody else wants to know. So just be precarious of that, even though, one-on-ones are good, but sometimes, the group is also good as well. So I don't know, sometimes this thing kind of stalls when I get ready to put you guys on the shared screen. So just bear with me if that happens a little bit. We're just getting it together. Okay, let's click this and see what's going on over there. I've got to find one that we are going to look at. Okay, so this is what we're going to look at, and it's pretty much PowerPoint slides of what you guys already have. And, basically, I want you guys to just kind of see the overview of what you're going to be doing in your CPT coding session. Now, in the CPT section, you're going to learn how to use the CPT book. Okay, you're going to learn some of the techniques of coding. Okay, because the gist of this is you've got to know the CPT book inside out. The more you read, the better you get. The more tasks you do, the better you get. The more cases you do, the better you get. So that's why at the end of this section, you guys start your core courses. Your core courses will relate to the CPC. I want you guys to know what's going on in the CPC. That's your certified professional coder. You're going to also go on the website for AAPC. You guys can see what's on that test. Okay, I mean, not physically what's ABC, but you can see the categories that's on the test. They won't have the same categories every time. Let's say you failed one and you take another one, the second one will be different. So there is different exams, but what you're studying, I want you to put information on the index cards that you need to study. Okay, So let's go ahead and move on with what's in this content. Remember, you guys already have this PDF. If you don't have the PDF, it's longer than this because at CPT there's two sections on CPT. On one says 2-in-1. I just put the second section up first, but bypass that and go to the first section, okay? And your tasks are in there as well. This is pretty much just giving you an oversight of what you're going to be doing. It's pretty lengthy, but I'm gonna try to do this video in an hour. So welcome to your CPT overview. And this class is for you. Those of you who are doing just medical billing, that's fine. I also want you to dab into the coding because as you're in the front desk, you still are going to see some of the things that the coders are doing. You still may have to check on some of the things that may have errors. So those things you might have to, you may have to look at as well. There are billers who, are billers and coders, and, they do both. You have to check some of those things before the claim is dropped. So those of you who are doing medical billing, I want you to check this too. Also, the ICD-10 overview, I want you guys to also look at that as well. And look at this. Do your CPT. You do not have to do the core courses. The core courses are for you guys to do. You'll do cases, you'll do surgery sections, procedures. You'll have to give me diagnosis codes and all that kind of stuff. So when we dive a little further into the coding, that's what you'll have to do. So generally, it's independent. If you have files that you need to work on, I don't want you guys to be like, okay, I'm not doing this today, I'm not doing that today. Just set a scale for yourself to do your work, to do what you have to do, because that's the only way you're going to retain it. You have to study the work. If you guys can get in on the archive, so that you can know what we talked about in that section. Okay, so this session is to introduce you to the CPT guidelines, okay, much further than what we've already done. It is very important that you learn the guidelines and get familiar with the descriptions, okay? You'll be very fluent with this. Once you do this over and over, you'll be very fluent with this. In CPT, the guidelines are a little bit different than in ICD-10. So, when you have a code, you have guidelines. When you have a section, you have guidelines. They will give you a description of what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And in your CPT book, there is, guides there that help you to move to the right code. So if you feel something's a little funky, don't choose that code. Okay. Same thing for your test. You see something a little funky, don't go for it. I'm gonna see if this can move up because it looks like it's cutting off some of you guys. Okay, so again, the guidelines give you specific details and coding, notations. Okay, you cannot code without using the guidelines. Okay, you must use the guidelines to code because they tell you right from wrong. Okay, as you begin reading your CPT code set book, the guidelines will become second nature. You'll be gone. Oh, I know that. And I have students, some of y'all take your CPC. Oh, I want to take another one. Okay, that's fine. I'm telling you, read those guidelines over and over. The gist of the test is you got to know how to navigate through that book. Know how to navigate through the CPT book. Okay, I said I was going to be an hour. Y'all know I start talking, I'm gone. So, again, you as long as you take passion, in what you do, you'll get it done. And you guys know Miss Lambert, I have a passion for everything that I do, especially when it comes to you guys and students. So, again, we don't know something. If we need to get something done, we'll find it. Okay. Okay. So much. So okay. So this one is notice I have different glasses on. Yeah, I have different glasses, every now and then. Yeah, my shoulders are my. All right, just talk about the class. Okay, and yes, I lost a pound or two, but I'm working on it. But let's get back to the class. Okay, so guidelines, specific guidelines are present at the beginning of each of the sections. Remember, there are 6 sections. That might be on your exam. Put it on index cards. Put it on an index card. I cannot stress these index cards enough. This is an index card. Dialysis circuit port. Arteriovenous AV. Arteriovenous fistula AV. Listen, this is your go-to. Make sure, I'm trying to stand the camera. You guys know it's hard for me to get camera. Make sure you use this as your go-to. Okay? If you have any issues, make sure you call me because I got to make sure you're clear on what you're reading. A couple of you told me that some of you have a coding book already, 321, 123. That's not the one that we use. I mean, it's probably a good book, but that's not the one that we use. That's the APC book. We use this step by step by book. Okay, good. When you see that one, you'll see there's a lot more better in format. You know, some other training schools, they use, you know, the 321 book. I can't even say it, but we do use the step by step book. Okay, so for example, in the medicine section, specific instructions are provided for handling unlisted services or procedures. Special reports and supplies along with materials are provided. Remember, those special reports, you got that on one of your tasks in the section. This medical necessity. Basically, that's what it is. If the provider does something out of the ordinary, you need to have medical necessity. Get the report and send it with the claim. Because if they deny the claim, they'll say, okay, we need medical necessity. If you know, okay, this looks a little funky. All right, let me drop. I'm talking to the bills. Let me drop this with this claim. Okay. Those of you who are coding it, you know, that's a different case when they talk about medical necessity. Now there are coders that do look at the claims. I think some of them at Trinity do that because I remember they used to be some of them would be like, oh, I got a rejection for that, I got a rejection for that. And that's just because they're talking about once it goes to audit. Sometimes when the auditors get it, before that claim shoots out the door, you got the auditors checking that before it drops. And sometimes the system, the EHR, they're going to stop it anyway. But sometimes the codes, you know, don't match. Sometimes they're not right. So, you know, the coders will get that back in their queue. But I'm saying that to say the coders do check that sometime before you even get it on the back end. Talking to the billers now. So I know I'm talking to both of you guys at the same time. But, you know, the revenue cycle department, you know, it's a lot of us, you know, in different directions. It's a lot of us in different directions. Some of you guys are already working in medical billing. If you're just working in the claims department, you haven't experienced the gist of the 1 to 10. The 1 to 10 is from the front desk all the way to the back end, to the coders, to where they live. Most of the coders do not work at the facility. So, you know, you guys are still going to have to the billers. You guys are still going to have interaction with the coders. But, you know, just be precarious. Those of you who are working in the hospital, working in the doctor's office, and you work in the claims, there's a lot more to billing that I want you guys to know. Be abreast on the billing. Yeah, you may get something on the CPC that has to do with billing. Okay, so just be precarious of that. Be precarious of that. Once you take your CPC and you want to take a specialty, y'all know I love cardiovascular, so I say cardiovascular all the time. Take the certification for cardiovascular and you stay in that surgical field. Okay, you don't have to stay there, but you know, just giving you an example. Okay, so for instance, radiology guidelines provide definition of the unique term radiology supervision and interpretation. Okay, that's SI. Watch that SI. It may be on what is the meaning of SI? If you know you're in the radiology department on your test, and they say what's SI, you know that is supervision and interpretation. That's like a trick to multiple choice questions. If you know that you're in a certain area and they give you questions all over the place in this area, that area, you know that the answer is the question that's stuck to this area. So, you know, I told you guys, you know, my girlfriend, she's a whiz at, you know, multiple choice. You know, I'm not that good at multiple choice, you know, but she can pick it, you know, right off the bat. But, you know, study enough, you guys can get it. Okay. So again, you know, we're talking about the guideline, a written report, example, handwritten or electronic report. They're talking about the provider notes. When they say report, they're talking about the provider notes. So the provider knows when they say written or electronic. These scribers, some of them code from scratch. The old school scribers, they literally just get the report and that's what's in there and they scribe them from there. Electronic is the EHR. Go to Epic and then the EHR section, provider notes XYZ, you'll find the notes in there. That's the electronic version. Signed by the interpreting individual. So you see, when you scroll down on that note, you see the providers have signed it already. Now, if you're working at a doctor's office, in Athena, it's a little bit different. In Athena, you should, when you go in Athena, you see the picture of the patient, the XYZ. But when you start looking in the service that the patient came in there for, if the provider has not signed that, it will not let you do anything to it. You can't close that case. You can't bill it. So that's why, you know, talking to the billers now, or the coders, keep in contact with the nurse at the clinic and make sure that the provider has signed off on all of his stuff, because the billers will get, I don't think charging your person does that. The billers will probably get this, or the supervisor, but because our supervisor, she gets this and she has to do an edit on this when I have a whole list and I've got providers there that haven't dropped their charges yet, because they haven't signed up on their reports. So yeah, that's a holdup. You guys know I told you about, you know, end month, you know, it's almost mid-month, you know, they gotta have all that stuff in there. Yep, you're gonna have providers, absolutely right. You're gonna have providers that they hand you reports when they get them ready, but those are the ones that make money. The ones that make money, you see the providers, the $1 million providers that, oh yeah, let me get this to her, you know. Can I give it to you tomorrow? All right, let me get you. Okay, the ones that just started or the ones that's making, you know, not that much money, they just started, they get ready to get caught. Here, they give you their report before, okay, before the case is over, they're in their room. So, you don't know what you may get. Just be precarious of it. Just be precarious. So, yeah, different kind of providers. I have, dealt with several, I dealt with many, and they have different personalities and some want their stuff right now. And some, you want to try and Dr. Mahoney, you can't do that. So again, don't be afraid of the provider. I'm just throwing stuff in, but we're talking about the guidelines. You guys are going to read these again. You guys are going to go over this again. I want to make sure that I kind of get through this. So add-on code. The add-on code concept in CPT applies only to add-on procedures or services performed by the same physician. So when I say an add-on code, let's say the provider started a procedure, then he started doing something else. That's another code. If it is not in conjunction with the primary procedure, or if it is not a bundled procedure. If you find a code that you think is in conjunction with that, and it says you cannot combine this code because of inconclusive or excluding, then you need to check that. Okay. So when you see add-on code, okay, make sure that you know what you're doing with it. Don't drop the claim, because I'm going to stop it anyway. I'm going to stop it. Well, I'm not going to stop it, but they're going to stop, the auditors are going to stop it. Okay, or the system may not let it go through if it is not correct. Okay, and when you say performed by the same physician, he did something else to this patient. Let's say he go in there, oh, wow, the gallbladder doesn't look too good. Let me take that out. Okay, that's an add-on code. If it's totally different from something else, then that would be two codes. Okay. We didn't do includes and excludes yet, but you guys will get to that. I might have a taste of that in this PowerPoint, but you guys will get to includes and excludes. Again, that's part of your guidelines. Okay. Such as work associated with the primary procedure, additional digits, lesions, neuropathy, vertebral segments, tendons. See, I'm giving you different things that could be in conjunction with an add-on code. Okay. Just when you get ready to start reading your guidelines, you will get a big outtake of this. Okay. Vertebral segments, that's in your back, like this disc. I would take this one down. take that one down. I don't know about tenders and joints. You guys already know what that is. Vertebral segments. Put that on the card too. You guys know what lesions is. Okay. So you see how I'm looking at this? Those are the type of things I want you guys to put on index cards. Things that you might have a little funkiness with. Okay. Because I can't remember everything either. But I still have cards. I still keep cards. You know, I want you guys to keep cards too. Okay, so you guys know what AMA is, American Medical Association. Adult codes are always performed. Let's see, I'm missing something right there. I'll fix it right now. I think I put a capital there. All right, so add-on codes are always performed in addition to the primary service. So you guys know that. You guys know that, and that's in your book too. So again, if there's something in here that you need to put on your index cards, put it in your index cards, okay? In addition to the primary service or procedure, and must never be reported as a standalone code. All add-on codes in the CPT code sets are exempt from the multiple procedure concept. See modifier 51. Write modifier 51 down and then go to appendix A, okay? Write the definition of that down. It's in your book. So let me phrase that. I want you to write that down just so you can have it in here and retain it. I want you to go to Appendix A so you can know where that is. But as you're doing the work, the task that I have given you makes you go through that whole book. So it's just as if I'm going, word for word with you in the book. I'm giving you the task so that you go through each concept in the book. The 51 is there. When you go to the modifier section, you see the 51 there anyway. But when you take your test, you'll just know to go. You'll just know where to go without, taking all day looking for something. Okay. Just moving on. CPT modifier guidelines. That's in there. When you get to that section in that appendix, read those guidelines that are in there so you are aware of what you can code with a modifier and what you can, or what you don't need to code. Okay, let's talk modifiers. Okay. It's useful when the procedure services have been altered. As you read on, you will get more accustomed to modifiers now on your exam. You will not have many. Now, when I say I saw something that I want to go over. Oh, altered. So if he does, if the provider is doing the surgery and something shifts, or I need to have Dr. Moore come in here and help me. So that's two providers. Two providers could be working on the same section, or two providers could be working on two different sections. So he may need Dr. Moore to work on that while he's working on this. You know what I'm saying? So in retrospect to that, that's an altered procedure. So yeah, you need a modifier to that. So the billing third party, the billing company knows to send a third party a modifier, so they can say, oh, okay, he did this with that, and this is the modifier for that. Okay, so they know how to bill it right, they know how to pay it right. Okay, where are we at? Trust me, a mere 1 point to 10 points will devastate you. So I'm talking about the test. So be careful with the modifiers. Look in your CPT manual. You will see a full list of modifiers. If you don't have the funds for the book right now, purchase the medical billing Q&A. There are many in there as well. That's the medical billing book Q&A. You guys can get that from Amazon. So you guys remember I just wrote that book for people who've never done billing before. But again, like I said, I had students, I had one years ago. I mean, she took her test several times, and then she did come to me. She lived in New York, but I was in North Carolina, and she passed her exam, but she wanted to get like a 99 or like a 90 or something. But I mean, to me, I think she did good. I think she did good on this. I think she got a 75 or 78 or something like that. But just be careful, because if you mess up on any certain part, like I said, a mere 1 point or 10 points will devastate you. You're going down. Okay. So just be precarious of what you do when you are taking your exam. Get those modifiers right. That's why I'm saying, the more you go through your CPT book, the more you will get accustomed to that book. and you'll know where stuff is. Again, this is just me going over some of the modifiers. A modifier provides the means to report or indicate that a service or procedure that has been performed has been altered. I should have highlighted that because I got to make sure you guys say altered. If you see something in the CPC test and it says, what do you need to see in order to use a modifier? And it gives you ABC questions. Make sure you choose the one that says altered. A procedure has been altered, okay, by some specific circumstance, but not changed in its definition or code. So he's still on the target. He's still doing what he's supposed to do, but I went over a bump. Just like when you're driving your car, you're still on your destination, but you hit over a bump, but you're still going when you're getting ready to go, right? Okay, good. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Modifiers also enable healthcare professionals to effectively and respond to payment policy requirements established by other entities. That's what I said on the other slide. Pretty much the third-party entities and the billers, they got to work together. So the billers need to make sure that the codes don't come back. I mean, if the billers are billing out something, the back end's going to get it if it's wrong. Okay, but the billers are not looking at all these different things. I mean, the cases are already in the queue, ready to go out. If they get stopped, then they're going to go back to the back. Okay, if the code ain't right, they're going back to the back. And the billers will say, Tanya, fix this, XYZ. So the application of modifiers are a necessity for separate procedure listings that may describe the modifying circumstances. So just, I would just submit the notes. If you do put a modifier in there, submit the notes. Service procedure. A service or procedure had both a professional and a technical component. Oh, look, we're talking about this is something that might be in radiology, something that, it's a technical component, professional component. Technical component is the equipment that was used. The professional component is the provider. So, and or wherever the provider was, if he was in a hospital, or if the hospital owns the equipment, or if he's at a doctor's office and the doctor literally owns the equipment. Okay. I know it's 26 and something else, but I'm just giving you an example of this because you have a test on that. I put one in your plate. A service or procedure was performed by more than one physician or healthcare professional and or more than one location. Okay. Did I just skip that? Wait a minute. I need to wait. Okay. A service or procedure was increased or reduced. Only part of a service was performed. So those are indications of modifiers. Find those modifiers. Okay, that's a test. You guys do that tonight. Find those modifiers. Add-on service procedures. An adjunctive, we talked about that service was performed. A bilateral procedure was performed. A service or procedure was provided more than once. Unusual events occurred. Okay, so this is if you may need to use an add-on service procedure. If we're going, I'm talking about with the 26. Okay, a physician providing diagnostic or therapeutic radiology services, ultrasound or nuclear medicine services, and a hospital would add modifier 26 to the report, to report the professional component. Okay, y'all can look this up, 73090 with modifier 26, professional component only for X-ray of the forearm. Put it on the index. You never know, it might be on test. You guys are going to get more of a gist of what's on the test when we get to the core courses, because those are all 21 sections. Okay, and this is just another example. So I do want you guys to kind of look at this. 2 surgeons may be required to manage a specific surgical problem. Remember, I just told you that in the beginning. This is just pretty much a inquiry of what we just talked about. It. Look up the modifier 62. When 2 surgeons work together as primary surgeons performing distinct parts of a procedure. She's on the right, he's on the left. They're both the same. You're going to code right and left. The code is going to say right and left. Okay. And then you may see a code in there that's specifically for right and left, and you don't need the modifiers on there. The modifiers as in the RT and the LT. Okay. I know I'm talking fast, but I want you guys just to get through this. And you start doing that coding, it'll be a lot easier for you when you know how to decipher what you see. So that's a lot of, that's very important when you guys are coding. You have to understand what you're looking at, okay? Of the procedure, each surgeon should report his or her distinct operative work by adding modifier 62. So again, if there are the two providers, let's say he works for it doesn't matter where they work. I'm just giving you an example. If the doctor works for the hospital and one works for physician office, the billers at the physician office are adding 62, and the billers and the coders are over here at the hospital are also adding 62. Okay, same code, they just adding 62 just to let them know, you know, these two surgeons worked on the same body. Okay. So I want you guys to look at that. Okay. For instance, a neurological surgeon and an otologist are working as co-surgeons and performing transfindal, you know, I can't pronounce it, excision of the pituitary neoplasm. Look in the look in your modifier section and find that modifier. Read all the modifiers. Even though they're in the book, I still want you to put them on put the modifiers on a card, on an index card, so you can still study them. Because when you're taking your test, even though they're in the CPT book, what if you know it offhand? And then you can go boop, 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 boop. All right, now let me move on. That saves you time. That saves you time. I don't want you spending 2 and 3 minutes on one question. Okay, do it and keep it moving. All right, do it and keep it moving. Am I going to post this on Instagram? No. Why do you want me to post this on Instagram? This is for you guys. Okay, I do post sometimes on YouTube, but not these. I post different things on YouTube. Most of the stuff that we do in the class, you know, I don't put that on YouTube. This one is asking me to put this on Instagram. I think it's a little lengthy to put on Instagram, but I don't see flaws for it. You have somebody that wants to see it, let me know. I'll let them in class. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, look up these codes. Okay. So I'm just giving you codes to look up so you guys can see why you would be using the 62. Hypophysectomy or excision of pituitary tumors, transnasal or transseptal approach, non-sterotic, plus 2 surgeons will modify it. The second surgeon will report 61548, hypophysectomy or excision of pituitary tumor, transnasal or transseptal approach, non-sterotic, plus 2 surgeons modify it. I just put that there just to show you guys it's the same code and you're just still putting the modifier on, okay? This is a note. When you guys see me put this inside your PDFs, inside your documents, inside your course files, I want that means I just want you to remember it. Okay. Let me see what I have. Why do I have the 80 there? Okay. If additional procedures, including add-on procedures, are performed during the same surgical session, separate codes may also be reported with modifier 62 added. It should be noted that if a co-surgeon acts as an assistant in a surgical session, okay, as an assistant, that means he's not acting as a primary surgeon. Those services may be reported using separate procedure codes with modifier 80 or modifier 82 added as appropriate. Okay, look at the modifiers in 8. Now, sometimes a PA is assisting. You use 80. And depending on if the patient has the Medicaid or commercial insurance, that may change. Okay, so check your up-to-date CPT book so you can know what to use. Okay, I forgot what the Medicaid one was. But you guys will see that in your book. Take notes and use index cards. You guys, this is like how I'm saying to use your index cards. Okay, use them and study them. Because what if you go to your family's house or something like that? You got your index cards to study with. Okay, place of service and facility reporting, CPT code book. Okay, you guys know all about that. You guys heard me talk about that in the other section. I do repeat stuff from different